A four-time world champion just got knocked out of the World Cup by a country of 6 million people. On penalties, the one thing Germany never lost. And 4 days later, it cost the manager his job. This is the fallout, and it might be even bigger than the shock itself. That sounds dramatic. It isn't an exaggeration, because the name being linked with the job next is one of the most famous coaches on the planet. Quick thing first. If you love the football stories the big channels rush past, subscribe and follow Dugout Takes and tap that like button. It's free, it takes 1 second, and the next one lands right in your feed. So here's the setup. At the 2026 World Cup, Germany went out in the round of 32, beaten 4-3 on penalties by Paraguay after a 1-1 draw. For most nations, a shootout defeat is heartbreak. For Germany, it was something they had literally never experienced at a World Cup. And that made the reaction back home brutal. 4 days later, on Friday morning, Julian Nagelsmann handed in his resignation. Now here's the detail that tells you how deep this went. Nagelsmann wasn't sacked. He walked. And he was under contract all the way through to 2028. He was supposed to lead Germany at their home European Championship cycle and beyond. Instead, he stepped away from one of the biggest jobs in world football rather than continue after that exit. That is not a small thing. So who replaces him? And this is where it gets huge. The German Federation has already opened talks with Jürgen Klopp. Yes, that Klopp. The man who turned Liverpool back into champions of England and Europe. Klopp himself confirmed it, saying simply, "Yes, I can confirm the talks." Now let's be accurate, because this matters. Klopp has not been appointed. Nothing is signed. These are talks, early ones. And there's a genuine complication. Klopp hasn't managed a single game since he left Liverpool back in 2024. Since early 2025, he's been working as Red Bull's global head of soccer, a boardroom role, not a touchline one. So walking back into international management, straight into a rebuild after a national trauma? That's a massive decision for him too. But you can see exactly why Germany want him. They don't just need a coach, they need belief. They need a personality big enough to make a shattered squad and a furious country fall back in love with the team. And if there's one manager on earth built for a reclamation project like that, it's the man who did it at Anfield. So here's what changes for you. The Paraguay result wasn't the end of the story. It was the trigger. One shootout in one round of 32 has already taken down a coach who was contracted for 2 more years and pulled one of the biggest names in the game toward the job. That's how much a single night at a World Cup can move. So tell me honestly, should Germany hand the keys to Jürgen Klopp? Or is that a risk even they shouldn't take? Drop it in the comments. And if this gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and follow Dugout Takes, so the next great football story finds you first.